Welcome to Forced to Flee, the human face of climate-induced migration. In this video, we will explore the complex realities faced by individuals and communities as they are uprooted by climate change. From understanding the fundamentals of climate-induced migration to examining the impact of extreme weather events and the vulnerabilities of specific populations, we will highlight the urgent need for global awareness and action. Join us as we delve into the personal stories of climate migrants, their struggles, and the resilience that emerges in the face of adversity. Together, we'll unpack the long-term consequences of displacement and discuss vital strategies for adaptation and advocacy in the ever-evolving landscape of climate crisis. 1. Understanding climate-induced migration. Climate-induced migration is a growing reality that affects countless individuals worldwide. This type of migration refers to people being forced to leave their homes due to climate-related events such as extreme weather, sea level rise, and drought. Imagine living in a coastal village and watching the sea gradually swallow it, leaving no choice but to move. It's not just a change of address, it's a complete upheaval of life. For many, the decision to leave is one of survival. The daunting reality is that climate-induced migration is no longer a concern for the future. It's happening now, affecting millions of lives. 2. Impact of extreme weather events. Extreme weather events like hurricanes, floods, and wildfires are becoming more frequent and severe, displacing entire communities. Think of a hurricane tearing through a town, leaving behind a trail of destruction, homes lost, livelihoods shattered. People are forced into temporary shelters, uncertain of when or if they can return. These events can lead to both short-term and long-term migration, with some families never able to return to their homes. The immediate impact is visible, but the long-term consequences can be just as devastating. The struggle to rebuild, both physically and emotionally, is a burden many must bear. 3. Vulnerability of certain populations. Certain populations are more vulnerable to the effects of climate change and subsequent migration. Low-income communities, indigenous groups, and women often bear the brunt of these challenges. Imagine a community already struggling with poverty, now facing the added burden of displacement. Indigenous groups, whose lives are deeply connected to their land, face the loss of not just a home but a way of life. Women, often responsible for family care, face additional pressures in times of crisis. These groups are disproportionately affected, highlighting the need for targeted support and solutions. 4. Urbanization and climate migration. As climate migrants seek better opportunities, many move to urban areas, placing increased pressure on city infrastructures and resources. Picture a bustling city, now overwhelmed by an influx of new residents seeking shelter and jobs. The added strain can lead to overcrowded living conditions, increased competition for jobs, and stretched public services. While cities may offer more opportunities, they are not always equipped to handle sudden population surges. This urban migration phenomenon underscores the need for sustainable urban planning and resource management to accommodate new arrivals. 5. Long-term consequences of displacement. The long-term consequences of climate-induced migration can be profound, resulting in prolonged displacement and loss of livelihoods. Picture a farmer who loses their land to drought, left with no means to support their family. This loss can lead to social tensions in host communities as resources become scarce. The emotional toll of losing one's home and way of life is immense, impacting mental health and community cohesion. Displacement is not just about finding a new place to live, it's about rebuilding a life from scratch, often in unfamiliar and challenging environments. 6. Legal and human rights issues. Climate migrants frequently lack legal protections, making it difficult to access resources and rights in host countries. Imagine fleeing your home only to find yourself in a new place without legal recognition or support. These migrants often fall through the cracks of existing legal frameworks, leaving them vulnerable to exploitation and marginalization. The lack of legal status can limit access to essential services, education, and employment, trapping individuals in cycles of poverty and insecurity. Addressing these legal and human rights issues is crucial for ensuring the dignity and well-being of climate migrants. 7. Resilience and adaptation strategies. Communities facing climate risks are actively developing resilience and adaptation strategies to minimize future displacement impacts. Consider a coastal town building seawalls and implementing early warning systems to protect against rising tides. These proactive measures aim to safeguard communities and reduce the need for migration. By investing in sustainable practices and infrastructure, communities can better withstand climate shocks. Such strategies not only protect physical assets but also preserve cultural heritage and community ties, fostering a sense of security and hope for the future. 8. Global response and policy frameworks. International frameworks, like the Paris Agreement, are crucial in addressing the root causes of climate change and supporting affected populations. These agreements aim to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and provide financial assistance to vulnerable countries. The global response involves collective efforts to mitigate climate change and promote sustainable development. By fostering international cooperation, these frameworks aim to create a more resilient and equitable world. However, the effectiveness of these policies depends on their implementation and the commitment of nations to uphold their promises. 9. Stories of climate migrants. Personal stories of climate migrants bring to light their struggles, hopes, and resilience. Imagine a family forced to leave their ancestral land due to rising sea levels, now starting anew in a foreign city. Their journey is one of survival and adaptation, marked by challenges and triumphs. These stories highlight the human aspect of climate-induced migration, reminding us that behind every statistic is a person with dreams and aspirations. By sharing these narratives, we can foster empathy and understanding, encouraging collective action and support for those affected. 10. The role of education and awareness. Raising awareness about climate-induced migration is essential for fostering empathy and support for affected communities. Education plays a pivotal role in informing the public about the realities of climate change and its impact on migration. By understanding the challenges faced by climate migrants, individuals and communities can advocate for policies and practices that promote resilience and adaptation. Awareness campaigns can also inspire personal and collective actions to reduce carbon footprints and contribute to a more sustainable future. Through education, we can empower people to make informed decisions and support those forced to flee due to climate change.